Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is around about 3 o'clock in the morning. This is yours truly, Mazelle. Um, Listening to the raindrops, I was contemplating. I remember I was doing a plan just now, so this come to mind. I remember when I was a young wife, like 3 to 4 years into our marriage. My husband and I had traveled just for a weekend shopping in Miami, Florida. We had no kids then, and we used to really have fun. We used to go to Cuban halls. They have some places that are like halls where only Cubans and Latinos be. And y'all, look here, we were speaking Spanish, but we didn't know what we were speaking. But we can understand them, and they can understand us. And we used to go there, and we used to have fun. It's we were young, you dance, you have drinks, you could have like wings, hot wings, fries, spicy food, quesadillas, and all these different things, going on in this place. It was a beautiful place to go. And because I drive, I used to go in Little Havana, I used to go in Little Haiti. I used to be all about because I could drive. And I've been driving for years in Florida. In fact, I know Florida better than Nassau because how the streets are numbered is very easy to know. And because our streets have names, it's a difference. You gotta actually know the area. See, that's the difference. So I have gotten lost a couple times in Fox Hill. I just learned Fox Hill of late because I made it my business to keep driving through to learn it. And definitely, I still don't know in the back of Golden Gates. Oh my God, or Sunshine Park, that type area. I don't know in the back of those because I don't live that side and don't hardly go that side. But when you could drive, it's a lot of places you'll be able to go to that is not frequent by the usual travelers, whether you're Bahamian or wherever you're from. Man, but this day, it was a Saturday morning. We just came from having breakfast from Danny's. Our flight that just came in. We had a early breakfast at Danny's. And we just decided to drive round to the flea market because we ain't checking time yet. Checking times be like but 3 o'clock in the evening or so. So we drive round and whatnot. And we did a little shopping in the flea market to start us off. I never rent nothing but a van. I always rent the big high cheap van because believe it or not, I always meet a Bahamian stranded and they know you're so good. They know you're a Bahamian even though they don't know you, and they be waving their tail off. I done dropped so many Bahamians to Miami International Airport because they spend their last till they ain't got money to check there. They would not learn. You ever see that? I mean, they would not learn. They spend their last 1 cent. Man, made it so hot to spend. And it fiberglassed me because on many occasions, I trying to get them to the airport, but they fly anyway until late evening. They got to go to the airport because they ain't leaving $1, and they so glad they see a Bahamian who could give them a ride. Because they even got money for, they didn't even have money for taxi. That's a fact. And then they trying to swing me. That's how we go. We ain't even have no shame in our game. We practice that over and over and over again, no matter who say what. Who say, you leave some in the bank now, so when you're coming through, you can use your card. They spend that card up and they be calling family and friends with a tearful story because they didn't had fun. Well, look here. I used to even be buying them food because you're there all day, even got nothing to eat. I go carry them to the where I could drive. I carry them to my Cuban place. They have steaks for only $7. You get a whole platter of steak, a whole platter of white rice with Cuban beans, plantains, and a whole bowl of lettuce. Your food take up one table, them little small square table, and then there's be full with police from the precinct. And look here, they know me so good. When they see me, hey, Miss Sally, you back. I be like, yeah, I be like a celebrity where they so happy to see me, but they so know used to. I cover there all the time. I always make my point to go there and Red Lobster. Those two places, I make my point to go. Oh, I love me the two of those places. You can't go wrong with them. And when I carry them like behemoths, it's kind of out, way out, so you really need a car. So when I carry them before they go to the airport, they never been, of course, the place. And when they see how much food you get for only $7, they be with their mouth open. They can't eat all the food. They be so happy someone feels sorry for them. And when you reach a Nassau, you don't see them no more. You don't see them no more. You can't remember even how they look. But once or twice, one or two boys will remember me when they reach back in Nassau. Like when they see me, hi, you remember me? You used to lady who give me a ride. I say, yeah. I see them. When I see them, only thing I can do is keel over laughing. That's why they say you gotta have stories to tell. You gotta have stories to tell, baby. I got stories to tell the things I didn't do. Oh, crying out loud. Look here. But this particular day, we came from the flea market after walking around a few hours. Young, you ain't got nothing to do, just going away to Spillergate. We didn't even need that much shopping. We used to just go to have fun, really. And we noticed that we were being followed. I noticed because I'm the driver. My husband he from the island, so Nassau is enough city for him to drive in. So imagine he never trying to get in the wheel. And my husband don't he ain't soft at all. He's a hunter. A hunter is a man that kills. Eh, They kill animals bigger than them. He's a hunter. He ain't never scared. He's dived in the ocean. A shark tried to bite him. Had his almost had in his mouth, and he killed that shark, and he bring the shark draw. They had that on display. It actually a shop by downtown. Hello somebody. So he ain't soft. It's just that when it come to driving, he have green eyes, and the traffic lights, he have color problem with the traffic light. When the light is on red, it looks green to him, and when it's on green, it looks red to him. I don't know, but people with green eyes don't all have that problem, but he does. And so he only could drive in Nassau or in the Bahamas. You can't need to drive in in another country because I ain't taking that chance. So I'm the designated driver as usual, and he don't know the United States. I do. Even though he been going behind me, he just like little children having a good time. He ain't even checking for the routes. And they follow is a lone driver. He was a colored driver in a black sports car. And as quickly, first, how I notice is I always notice my mirrors in a foreign land. And as we pull out of the flea market, the car like pull out behind us. And you never know who watching you, behaving, shopping, got a couple of dollars. You always got to be mindful of your surroundings. I work in crime for many years, so I try to be mindful. You're not perfect. You can't slip, but you try to because you know better. And I say, well, most people pulling out, that ain't nothing wrong with that. It's when we went up to 103rd Street, okay? When I went on 100 and spring on 103rd Street, well, you could be going the same direction too, but that ain't the point. The point is you tailgating me almost, so you making me quite aware that you're following me, okay? So because I didn't want to take a chance, what I used to do back then, I used to, when I get a van, I will rent a phone, a local phone from the from the rental company. They used to ask you if you want a phone back in those days, uh, you know, and I would rent a phone. And what I did is I just dialed 911, and I told them, I introduced myself and told them I'm a tourist from Nassau, Bahamas. My husband and I is on 103rd, and I tell them where I'm passing on 103rd and that this black car is following us and tailgating us. And then what happened is when I slow down, the black car going on the side of us, and I explain all of that, looking at us, and you know, and immediately I tell you no lie, boy, is a difference in countries. Man, before I can hang up a phone good, I see when the black car speed out, but I didn't know what was going on. Like it speed away from us. It speed away from us because immediately I had one police car on each side of my van escorting me. I tell them where I was headed, and they escort me straight to my hotel in the van. Sometimes it pays to be safe, okay? They escort me straight to my hotel. A police car on each side of me escort me straight to my hotel to the van. And I thank God for that because you know what I usually do when I visit? Because I work in crime also, I always stop to the Broward County Precinct, which is just before you get to the Opalaka Flea Market, and on the same side, on the right side. And I would always go in and, hi, I'm Mazelle. I'm from Nassau, Bahamas. I work to the courts or I work in crime. Um, how's it is over here? And I'll have a little small conversation with the police. They're glad to meet somebody other than a criminal inside the establishment and glad to know you work in basically the same type fields that they are, you know. And it's good conversation. Talk for 15, 20 minutes, hail them and get to know their name and leave, you know. I does that. And I also visit Mercy Hospital and the surrounding hospitals. Some of them, Jackson and the other ones, some of them are private hospital. I visit them. And I know most of the doctors and the nurses in those hospitals when I visit them. That's me trying to get familiar with the place that I'm visiting. And I go there back in those days very often because I had a home run business. And not only that, at that time, I don't have none now. And not only that, if something happened to you, you can you can make a logical decision if you're conscious. The people around you can make a logical decision because you then inform them. If something happened, I'd like to go here or this and that and that. You're not looking for that to happen, but it's always best to be sorry. It's always to know, get to know the places you're visiting intimately. You call that intimately is knowing the hospitals, how they run, and just visiting. In fact, when I went in some of the hospitals, I meet Bahamians in there. They so glad to see a Bahamian who ain't sick, who come in the hospital. They reaching out their hand and telling their story. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I love visiting. They used to ask me, you can give blood. I said, I told you I ain't naming every time. But I didn't give blood this month. I say, no, I never want to give blood. Not because I do not want to save a life. But when you're anemic, you're not supposed to give blood. And they know that. So I always say, it's like a running joke. They say, you're giving blood today? I say, no, I'm not. It's like a little running joke, you know. Um, so you have to be safe and mindful of your surroundings when you're traveling because I've heard too many stories of Bahamians being robbed. In the United States, when they hear you are a Bahamian, their eye perk up. They think you are rich. They actually used to think every Bahamian rich. But now that myth has been dispelled. But one thing they know also though, even though the myth has been dispelled, they know that you mightn't be rich, but every time you come to Florida or somewhere, you get a pocket full of money, and so you got to be mindful of that. Some people want that money. they know you as a Bahamian. That's all they need to know. And so I've heard too many stories of Bahamians getting robbed and stuff. You have to know your surroundings. You have to be aware. Not just only have fun and not paying attention to what's going on around you. You need to be aware. You know, aware is paying attention to the different little stuff going on around you. Sometimes you go in a place to have a drink. Um, you got to be aware. People put things in your drink. You got to be aware of what's going on around you, especially if you try. I've traveled by myself and I've had a bartender try to put stuff in my drink because I asked him why if he mixing a drink in front of me, why he needed to go in the back with my drink. He couldn't explain it. He just said, "I going to go get some with my drink." I told him I paid for the drink, I carried the drink, and I threw the drink away. Okay, I threw the drink away. I was not drinking that drink. The next thing you know, something wrong with you. No, you have to be aware of every little thing that goes on around you when you're traveling. Their world is very beautiful, but in the meantime, you have some very scrupulous people. Their only mission is to seek and destroy. That's their only mission, seek and destroy. So you know everywhere you go, you have people on that type mission. So you have to be aware. You're not gonna be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, or you mightn't be too aware, and something might could happen. Anything could happen to anybody, but you try. That's the key. You try. So that's the story of when I had police escort, and I was wondering why the car speed away. But you know what I find out when we reach in that hotel, just leaving from right that same area on 103rd, right in Oakland, because my husband's a Conky Joe guy. So right in Oakland, yeah, I have a lot of books on my bed. I be writing a lot. When I in Oakland, when I reached in the hotel, I had on the thingum, the news flash came. A white guy and a colored girl were killed in a blue van in Oakland off 103rd a minute ago. Police are on the scene. And they had say a black car was seen speeding from the area. Look here, if God ain't with you, ain't nothing happening, because guess what? The black car that speed from my van, I was driving the blue van. I was a colored girl and I had my husband's a white guy. That person was looking for a particular person and we fit the bill. Had I not maybe called the police and we would have been the ones take a bullet for somebody who they were really looking for. Apparently, in the news report, because me and my husband leave it our mouth open, we was shocked as hell. Because I say, listen to this, listen to this. I said, we just passed Oakland. I said, and the black guy who was following us, that could be the black guy. I said, you remember when I called the police and they escorted us? And me and him my husband couldn't speak. He leave with his mouth open. A colored girl and a white guy was shot minutes ago. Live, quick, day like us. It's quick news report live on the scene, still on the scene. When I reach inside my hotel room, hello somebody, and a black car was seen speeding away. That have been as the getaway car with a lone colored driver. Hello somebody, and guess what? The news report say the girl was his ex-girlfriend and she was with her new boyfriend. Her new boyfriend was a white guy. Hello somebody. That's why you got to be careful. I telling this story and this has happened, believe it or not. This before I even had children. My daughter is 31 going on 32. And so this from over 30 some years ago. And that's why I'm telling my stories, because these are some serious stories sometimes that stands out in your mind. Had I not been vigilant, we could have be getting a bullet for somebody else because he keep looking and looking and looking to try to see who the man was in the passenger seat. He could see me good as the driver. And that's when I called the 911 call. And when the police came, thank God, they have plenty police and plenty police car. You understand? Because them police, like before I could hang up off the phone, they was on each side of me, escort me to the hotel. Had I not did that, I might have been a stiff toe gang for somebody else mistaken identity because it's obvious I was driving a blue Jeep and I was a colored woman with a white guy husband. Okay? And 9 out of 10 is the same guy in that black car. Because Oakland Boulevard, they have an Oakland area Boulevard right off 103rd, but they're talking about because they say Oakland, something off 103rd. I say we pass Oakland. Oakland is off 103rd. Hello, somebody. And it could have been us. It could have been us. So I tell that story because you have to be vigilant and you have to be careful. Not just because some people throw caution to the wind when in a foreign land, but too many Bahamians are being robbed abroad. Some of them so ashamed they only tell their family. They only tell their family. They so embarrassed about it. Because you have to be vigilant. You have to pay attention. Anyhow, that's my story of what I personally believe was a very close call for me and mine in a foreign land. Over and out.